Kimbal Musk. I work in food. I'm also involved in companies like Chipotle, Tesla Motors, and SpaceX, and I've been involved in companies my whole life. Just over 5 years ago that I was in a fairly challenged place. I'd gone into food but couldn't figure out ways to scale it, and then went back into technology. I wasn't very happy, and I went down a ski hill on an inner tube, and the tube flipped. I landed on my head going 35 miles an hour and broke my neck. I was paralyzed in my left horizontal for 2 months. It was the most clarifying experience of my life. So I would say that would probably have been a low point, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
How so?
Well, it changes your entire direction of life. I mean, I'd been very successful at that point, but it had been very financially successful and hadn't really pursued my passion. And my passion had been food my whole life. Since I was a kid, I was the cook at the home. I loved food in every way. I'd spent years training to be a chef, even before this point. And I just felt that I hadn't really pursued my passions. So now I focus entirely on food. I work on the food systems in America and the world, trying to understand what caused us to get to this place where we have morbidly obese people that are also starving at the same time. I sort of learned how the industry over the past 30 to 40 years has really focused on high-calorie, low-nutrient foods and getting that price down, but in a way that is punishing and a tragedy for the poor class in our society. Today, 5 years later, we have consumers that are demanding, screaming for real food, to understand what the ingredients that they're eating, what they're putting in their body. I work with Chipotle. Obviously, they've been leading the way, but even companies like McDonald's and Pizza Hut and Taco Bell are all starting to announce removing artificial ingredients from the foods, starting to remove human antibiotics in animals, the kind of things that we shouldn't have had there in the first place, and was a symptom of a lack of a food culture where we treated food as fuel. And so as long as it was cheaper fuel, we didn't really care. And of course, we've seen how much damage that has caused in our society, and now we're changing it. It's actually, I think, the most exciting time to be in food in 100 years. The larger companies are going to learn from the smaller companies. McDonald's is learning from Chipotle. Chipotle learns from smaller restaurant groups and really understand what they should be doing, what is the right thing to do, and I think that's the key. Not necessarily what consumers are demanding. They usually end up demanding the right thing. But actually, if you look at your own business and try and understand what is the right thing to do, the answer is usually pretty obvious. And so my hope is that it'll change from them being reactive, where they're responding to consumers, to proactive, where they're doing it because it's the right thing.